Hi, and welcome back to Lovely Lady's Kitchen. Fakina's not here today. She had another appointment, but I did promise you that Monday I'm going to be making you some lamb, and I am a woman of my word, and I'm going to make you some lamb. We're going to do lamb chops, which I already have pre-marinated. And I put them in some little baggies so that the marinade can soak all the way through and then not lose any of its juices. I'm going to make you some rice with that and some greens and a little garden salad. I already have a soup pre-made, so we're going to do a full meal. I'm going to puree some navy bean soup, and we're going to have a garden salad with some lamb chops and some rice and some greens. Talk about something good, boy. So I'll be right back. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay, I'm back. Hands are clean. I'm going to get these tongs out. Turn this fire up. And what I'm going to do is also preheat my oven to 300 degrees. We're going to sear our lamb chops just to kind of caramelize them on the outside, get the cooking started, and then we're going to transfer it into a Pyrex dish and put it in the oven. So I'm just going to drizzle some olive oil onto my skillet here, or my grill here. For the seasonings, I use sea salt, as we used before. We talked about the mineral value of sea salt. It helps to keep your body hydrated, and it's good for brain function. I use cayenne pepper, and no, I didn't put so much in there that it's gonna burn. It shouldn't be too spicy. You can, a little bit goes a long way with cayenne pepper. So, alright. And I put a little garlic and some rosemary and lemon juice. And that's what I use to marinate it in. That line is up. Let it brown on one side and then we'll flip it over. So while that's browning, I'm going to go ahead and get my rice out. I'm not going to get this started right away. I'm just going to measure it out. I like a lot of rice, so I'm going to do about 2 cups of rice. And I'm using some hard-boiled rice. What I like to do with my rice is toast it in some olive oil, and then add seasoning and water and let it steam through for about 20 minutes. washed my vegetables here. That is a big bell pepper. I like to support family-owned businesses, so I got my vegetables at a local market in town. Sometimes I get my vegetables from farmers market. They're fresh. As I told you, I'm going to be doing some greens, so I'm getting my greens out. I'm going to wash those and get them chopped up. When you're rinsing or washing your vegetables, your greens, you want to use cold water. So they have really nice charcoal color. Beautiful. Ooh, it got me. Let that side here. Save the juice so I can have a little something to steam these through in. Now you should be ready to go in the oven now. Oh yeah. It's done. Alright. Woo! Smoky. Okay, so I'm going to get these washed up and then I'm going to get my greens started and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Good. So we got the lamb into the oven. My greens have been washed. And so I'm going to get the rice going because I'm going to toast the rice and then I'm going to add some water, some seasoning and some water to it. And put a lid on it and let it steam through. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is get the heat going on high because we're going to actually toast the rice. So you're going to caramelize it and you want it to brown. Okay? I'm going to use. And I already have my extra virgin olive oil down inside the rice. And you want to mix it so that every grain of rice is covered with oil. I'm going to turn this light on here just so I can see a little bit better. And so that fire, I'm going to let that start to toast. While that's toasting, I'm going to get my garlic and onions and bell pepper chopped up. Now this is a huge bell pepper. I don't need all of this. I'm just going to chop off the part that I need and reserve the rest for later. I've already washed it. So I want diced bell peppers. So the first thing I'm going to do is julienne them, which is to cut them into these little slivers here. And the rice, I hear it starting to crackle a little bit. Okay, and once you have the little slivers, then you can turn them sideways, grab a few. And run your knife through. Put that in the bowl. And when you're in the kitchen, one thing you want to do is economize your time, right? So you don't want to sit and wait for the rice to start toasting and then try to start chopping your vegetables. You want to be as efficient as possible. So use that toasting time to get your vegetables chopped. Okay? And one of my pieces of diced bell pepper decided to run away from me here. Okay, put it down in there. And I got this last little piece that wanted to hang out. Okay. Now you're hearing the popping and the crackling. You look down inside of the pot here and it's starting to brown. So now this is where you pay a lot of attention to your rice. And you're just going to stir it because you want it all to brown. This is toast. It's going to give it a nutty flavor when you toast your rice beforehand. Okay, good. So now it's nice and toasty. Now while that's happening, I'm going to throw my bell peppers down in here because they usually take a little bit longer than the onions and garlic to cook. Turn it down a little bit while I smash this garlic up. Give it a nice little whack and the peeling comes right off. Okay? Then you just run your knife through. See how quick and easy that is? Takes no time at all. We'll get this down inside of there. Okay? Get this onion chopped up really quickly. So I'm dicing it because, you know, the rice is small. So you want the particles that you put in there to be a similar size. So you want to dice your onions, dice your garlic, dice your bell peppers. Okay. So you cut them into slivers crosswise, and you turn your onions, and then you cut them into little short pieces the other direction here. Oops. My little vegetables want to run away today. Okay, add down into the rice. And toasting all this together with the rice is just gonna be so good. Oops. One whole onion there. Okay. Looks like a lot of onion to some people, but I like a lot of onion and garlic. They help to keep your immune system boosted so that you can fight off any bad bacteria that might be in your body. And with the weather changing, the seasons changing, you're going to need a lot of immune system boosters. Now, my lamb has been cooking away for a little while here at 300 degrees. So I'm going to turn it down to 200 and just let it do its job. Okay. Okay, good. And then to this, I'm going to add some sea salt. And again, we did talk about the importance of using sea salt and all the good, wonderful minerals that are in it. This one is a grayish color. You want your sea salt to have a tint to it, a gray tint, a pink tint, a red tint. If it's just plain white sea salt, it probably doesn't have as much nutrition in it. So you want it to have some color to it. Okay. Then I'm going to add the cayenne pepper. And as I told you before, cayenne pepper purifies your blood and helps to cleanse it of any impurity. Okay? And then rinse my hands really quick. And then because we have rosemary in our lamb marinade, there's rosemary on the lamb, we're going to add rosemary to our rice. We're going to carry that ingredient over, and that's going to be like our main little secret ingredient. Alright. And one thing I learned from the cooking pros, which is my grandmother and all of them, is that when you crush up your dry seasonings, some people like to rough chop it. I like to just smash it right on in there. It releases some of the essential oils inside. You can smell the aroma and the flavor. Not too much. About a tablespoon full in there. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, good. So now that we have the onions are breaking down, the garlic is breaking down, the bell pepper is breaking down into the rice. Salt helps things to kind of break down and the flavors to kind of come together. We can add our water. That's about a cup of water there. And remember, we started off with about 2 cups of rice. So I'm going to turn this fire off and turn the back fire on low or medium. Get my lid out. Oh, it's in the drain dish. Cover that and let that steam through. Oh, that's gonna be so yummy. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is get my greens chopped up, and then I'm gonna show you how to make a quick, delicious pot of greens. Our parents usually boil them with some sort of ham hocks or something like that. I'm just gonna use unsalted butter, and I am going to chop them up really small, and put them down in the butter with some salt and onions and garlic and cayenne pepper, and then cover it and let it just do its job, and it'll be done really quick. Okay, so we're going to take a little break and so I can get that going, and then I'll see you right back. Okay, I'm back. So I got the greens all cut up. I peeled them off of the stem, and then I rolled them up, and I chopped them long ways and then cut across to break them down into smaller pieces, so that it'll cook faster. Okay, so greens do not have to take all day if you don't want them to. You just need to cut them down into smaller pieces. And that's, people a lot of times don't cook enough greens. Green vegetables are good for you. They provide a lot of iron, which is good to help you carry oxygen throughout your body. Just gonna grab me a butter knife and cut some butter down into here. I'm just going to turn the fire down so that I can let the butter melt while I get some onions and garlic down inside of the butter, so to season it. I had to pull out my larger chopping board here to need to have a little bit more workspace. Garbage bowl. Okay. Oh, yes, I know. Okay. Alright. Okay. And I'm going to use crescent-shaped onion slices, which is just simply slicing across the onion. So you get these little julienne slices like so. because we have little slithers of the green, so we want everything to be similar in size. And I think I want to do another onion with this. 2 onions instead of 1. Woo! Sometimes when you're cooking, you just kind of have to feel your way around and see what you want at the time. And sometimes your body will tell you, oh, I want a little bit more of that. Or this will taste better, or that will taste better. You kind of have to listen to it. Measuring all the time is good when you first start, but as you go along, the more of your instinct and spirit you put into it, the better your food tastes. Okay, these onions are kind of small, so I'm just going to do 2. Okay. Good, that's perfect. Those are going to wilt down. Just going to add some salt to it to help it break down. Break down the onions. Okay, and rinse that off. And I love whacking garlic. If you ever have some built up tension, some anger that you need to let out, whack you some garlic. Your food might not taste as good because you're angry, but smash some garlic. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 cloves of garlic. That sounds like a lot, but it's going to taste good. You don't have to worry about getting sick with all the onions and garlic that I put in here. Smell those onions. Turn the fire up some. They're starting to give off their little fumes here. Oh yeah, they're breaking down. They're starting to look a little translucent, which is exactly what you want. Okay, so we're seasoning our butter here. And it may seem like I'm using a lot of butter, but remember that butter is actually a dairy product. And when you use unsalted butter, you can control the amount of salt that you use, as well as the kind of salt that you use. Whereas when you buy pre-salted butter, you really have no control over how much salt is in there and what kind. Alright, so we got those peeled. I'm just going to run my knife through these. Oh, I should keep this over here because I'm going to need that to chop up my bell peppers. Rough chop this, run the knife through it. You don't have to chop this up too small. It's okay to have a few chunky pieces. because of the size of your onions and the shape of the cut in your greens. So that's why I do a little rough chop. I'm going to rinse my hands. Alright. I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper to this. Give it a little kick. And to help with purifying the blood, right? I love cayenne pepper. Whew. Okay, so now that we have this going, we're going to start adding our greens. I have two different kinds of greens in here. Little kale, little mustard, or collard greens rather. Okay, so you're going to add a little bit at a time. You're adding a little bunch. You're going to mix that in. It's going to start to break down and shrink in the pot, which will make more room for the rest. Okay, while that's happening, I'm going to start the bell pepper. Okay, again, you're going to use that same julienne knife technique. So you're going to cut slithers of the bell pepper here that we use for the onions. And you want to cut from the inside because the outside is a little tough, so it'll be a little harder to cut from the outside in. But if you cut from the inside out, it's easier to cut. And then I'm going to cut these in half. Okay, drop those down in there. Stir these in and add some more greens as I go along. Okay, and the greens need to be seasoned too. We've already seasoned the vegetables, the onions and garlic. We're going to add a little bit of salt as we go along. Let these break down a little bit. And then I'm going to add little sea salt. Okay. Layer this down in here. And that rice back there is actually looking really good. I'm going to open that up and check it out. Get a spoon so I can taste it. Oh, that looks good. Woo. I'm going to go ahead and turn that fire off. That is good. It has a little kick from cayenne pepper. Oh, so good. Go ahead with my greens, add a few more, and get the rest of these bell pepper chopped up. Add a little bit more salt. Get the rest of this bell pepper. When you're chopping, you want to curl your fingers back so just in case the knife gets a little too close, your knuckles kind of protect your fingers. Okay, so we got the little strips, and then we're just going to cut the little strips in half. Okay, so you're going to see nice red with the green and the white. Kind of looks like Christmas in a pot. Some of these didn't chop down enough. There we go. You know, my grandmother, when she used to make greens, actually spinach, she would add some nutmeg to it. One of these days I might do that with regular greens and see how that comes out. So these are going to be good and clean and healthy and fresh, fat-free, or bad fat-free, because everything has fat in it, but we don't want the bad fat. So this is not going to have any bad fat. It's going to be so good. And I used about a tablespoon of butter, and as the vegetables are breaking down, it's creating its own juice. With the salt, it's helping it to break down and create its own juice. So I'm not having to add any extra butter at this point. Just going to keep adding the greens to it and stirring it as I go along. And it's just amazing how they break down. I had this whole bowl full of greens, and you saw how it had a little mountain, and I'm adding it into the pot, and it just, you start off with a big bunch and you end up with a little bit. But it's going to be good. So it's worth all the work. Okay. It's the last of the greens that went down into the pot. I just want to make sure that they're all well mixed so it can all be incorporated and get some of that good flavor from the bottom. I feel like it needs just a little bit more salt because we added a whole lot more greens to the pot. Oh, it looks heavenly. That looks like Christmas. Look at that. It just looks like Christmas in a pot. Christmas in September. Okay. So those are nice and tender. down to, there we go. Turn it down low. Put the lid on it. And let that steam through. I'm going to check on my lamb and let those greens finish up. They should be done in a few minutes. They don't take long when you break them down. And when you come back, I'm going to plate everything and get the soup out, get it warmed up, get the salad made, and get the table set, and see you in a minute. Hi, so welcome back. As promised, this weekend we told you that we would show you, Takina and I told you that we would show you a formal table setting. Here I have a formal table setting. You can actually Google formal table setting and click on images, and you should be able to get some pictures of formal table settings and use that kind of like a cheat sheet or a map to show you how you can set your table. So I have a teacup here with the saucer, and of course I have my soup, salad, and entree dishes here, as well as my salad and entree forks, and I have a teaspoon for my tea, and actually I need to switch my tablespoon out for a soup spoon, which I'm going to do. Okay, so when you're having soup, you want to have soup spoons. Tablespoons are okay, I suppose, but soup spoons go with your soup, right? So soup spoon with the teaspoon, and yeah, that's basically how that goes. And you can get really creative with the table setting. You can set it however you want to. For the most part, I have an origami folded napkin, and basically what I did with that is I went to a restaurant, or whenever I go to restaurants, I'm going to sit these down here. Whenever I go to restaurants and they have folded napkins on the table, what I do is I unfold one and then fold it back until I master that part. And then I unfold two things and I fold those two back until I master that part. And I just keep going and keep going and keep going until I have the whole thing mastered all the way down and can fold the napkin and make it look like they did. And the other thing you can do is go on YouTube and look at napkin folding videos as well. And you can learn how to fold fancy little origami napkins. This one kind of looks like a flower. Has a little pocket here and a little pocket there. And it's really cute. It really, I have some pink and white and blue and gray floral design on the plates. And so the purple just kind of like pops it a little bit. You can do pink or blue or whatever your accent color you want to bring out is. The purple actually goes really well with what's already on the plate. And purple is my favorite color, so I had to go with the purple. I have my water glass and my flute. I don't drink alcohol, so in my flute I put ginger ale. And so I don't drink the champagne, but if you do, hey. This I use as a water glass. I don't drink wine, so I put my water in here. Also, sometimes instead of wine, I use ciders, like apple ciders or cranberry ciders. And so if I'm doing red mead, I'll do a red raspberry or cranberry cider. Another thing that you can do if you don't have cider, you can take some fresh cranberries or strawberries, or cranberries are better because it gives it that deep dark color, or raspberries, and just add a little Sprite or ginger ale to it, and it gives it that bubbly buzz that everybody likes if you don't drink alcohol. And I mix my own stuff. So this is my formal table setting here. I do have a pitcher of water over there. I have a ladle. I'm going to use this bowl for my soup back here. And I'm going to have my salad dressing. I'm going to make my own salad dressing. It's going to go in here. And when we come back, I'll have the food laid out on the table. And I'll be tasting everything and letting you know how it is. Thanks for joining me, and see you back in just a moment. Hi, so we're back. Here is your formal table setting. You have the lamb chops over there. There's pureed navy bean soup. There is a homemade salad, very simple salad, just some romaine lettuce with some shredded carrots on top and a little red onions. Very simple, don't have to go overboard because you're already doing a lot with the lamb, and you have a lot of vegetables in your rice, and you have this beautiful garden of greens, and so don't have to go too far overboard with the salad. And then of course the homemade vinaigrette, which I used extra virgin olive oil, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, cayenne pepper, and a little bit of the rosemary. Again, which you find the rosemary in the rice as well as in the lamb. So it's going to carry over into the salad dressing. So very simple. You put all that together, whisk it together, and you have a homemade salad dressing. Super simple. No need to go buy the high sugar, high calorie, high cholesterol things that you find in the store. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.